Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take a deep dive into each NBA team's elephant in the room when it comes to bad contracts for the 2024-2025 season. These are the deals that seem bloated, tough to justify, or simply don't align with a player's performance or the team's direction. We'll break down every team's most questionable contract and what it means for their future. But before we dive into the infamous stories of when Michael Jordan took things personally, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying our content. Your support really helps the channel and means the world to us. Let's start off with the Boston Celtics. The team made a significant investment in Drew by signing him to a 4-year, $135 million contract. While Drew has been a solid player, this amount seems disproportionate to his level of play. Such a hefty contract puts considerable pressure on the team, especially given that he is expected to play a key role in their competitive future. Moving on to the Milwaukee Bucks. Damian Lillard is undoubtedly one of the NBA's superstars, but his contract with the Milwaukee Bucks is one of the riskiest in the league. He's set to earn $48 million in 2025, $58 million in 2026, and has a $63 million player option for 2027. While his talent is unquestionable, the concern lies in his age. The Bucks could find themselves tied to a massive contract for Lillard well into the later stages of his career, potentially impacting their salary flexibility. Next, in Phoenix, the Suns have invested heavily in Bradley Beal, signing him to a contract that keeps him in Phoenix through 2027 with a total value of $160 million. While Beal's talent is clear, the real concern is his ability to stay healthy and validate such a large contract on a roster already filled with stars. Continuing with the Minnesota Timberwolves, Karl-Anthony Towns is one of the top players at his position, but his contract has become a burden for the Timberwolves. Set to earn just over $170 million through 2028, this substantial figure is challenging for a team that has struggled to build a strong supporting cast and achieve playoff success. In Los Angeles, Anthony Davis is still one of the league's and Lakers' top players when healthy, but his recurring injury issues have turned his contract into a major concern for the Lakers. With $230 million committed over 4 years, there's a risk that his on-court availability might not justify the significant investment the team has made in him. Over in Miami, Jimmy Butler has been the heartbeat of the Miami Heat, but his aging raises concerns about his contract. With $48 million due in 2025 and a $52 million player option for 2026, there's a risk that the team might end up paying a premium for a player whose performance may decline as he moves further from his prime. As for Denver, the Nuggets boast one of the most talented rosters in the league, but Michael Porter Jr.'s contract remains a concern. With $38 million slated for 2025 and $40 million for 2026, Porter's inconsistency and injury struggles could turn his deal into a potential burden for Denver. Moving on to the Los Angeles Clippers, Kawhi Leonard is unquestionably an elite talent, but his ongoing injury issues remain a concern. Despite this, the Clippers have committed to a 3-year, $150 million contract with him. The team's ability to justify this substantial investment will heavily depend on Leonard's ability to stay on the court and contribute consistently. Heading over to San Francisco, Draymond Green has been crucial to the Golden State Warriors' success, but his behavior both on and off the court has raised questions about his contract. Despite being the third highest-paid player on the team, Green's frequent suspensions and off-court issues cast doubt on whether he remains a worthwhile investment for Golden State. Next, in Dallas, despite a history marked by controversy and inconsistency, Kyrie Irving has secured the Mavericks' second-best contract. The real question isn't about his talent, but rather his ability to stay focused and be a positive leader for the team. Continuing with the Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young is clearly the leader of the Hawks, but his $140 million contract over 3 years makes it one of the largest in the league. While he has demonstrated his impact on the court, the key question is whether Atlanta can build a competitive team around him, given the substantial investment they've made. In New York, with the Knicks, Jalen Brunson's 4-year, $156 million contract may sound hefty, but it's actually $113 million less than the projected max. While Brunson has been solid, he hasn't yet demonstrated the star power needed to fully justify such a large deal. Nevertheless, the Knicks managed to avoid paying even more, which is a small victory in itself. Up in Canada, with the Toronto Raptors, Emmanuel Quickley is the Raptors' highest-paid player, thanks to a 5-year, $175 million contract. However, Quickley has yet to demonstrate that he can lead the team or justify this substantial salary, leaving Toronto in a challenging position. Over in New Orleans, the Pelicans have Brandon Ingram. Nearing the end of his contract, will earn $36 million in 2025. While he has shown flashes of brilliance, his inconsistency makes it difficult to justify his status as the Pelicans' most problematic contract. As for the Sacramento Kings, DeMar DeRozan is set to earn $74 million over the next 3 years with the Kings. Although he's a solid player, it appears the Kings have overvalued him. As DeRozan nears the end of his career, it's uncertain how much he'll contribute to a rebuilding team, making this contract a questionable investment. Moving on to the Houston Rockets, Fred VanVleet has brought veteran experience to the Rockets, but his $45 million contract for 2025 and $46 million team option for 2026 seems like an overspend. Given that his prime may be behind him, this contract could be seen as a risky investment for the team. Heading over to Chicago, Zach LaVine is an exciting player, but his injury history has been a persistent issue. Despite this, the Bulls have awarded him a 3-year, $138 million contract. This deal could become risky if LaVine struggles to stay healthy. Next, in Indiana, Pascal Siakam is a valuable addition for the Pacers, but his 4-year, $140 million contract at age 30 represents a significant investment. Given that he could be nearing the end of his prime, this deal carries some risk for Indiana. Continuing with the Philadelphia 76ers, at 34 years old, Paul George is set to earn $154 million over the next 4 years, with $46 million coming in the final year when he'll be 38. The 76ers are clearly betting that George will sustain a high level of performance well into the later stages of his career. In Memphis, the main concern for the Grizzlies revolves around Ja Morant. If he can stay clear of off-court issues, his $34 million contract, with potential for increases, could be a strong move for the team, especially given their small market status. With all other contracts in Memphis being below market value, the team is in an excellent financial position. Over in Portland, with the Trailblazers, DeAndre Ayton is set to earn $69 million over 2 seasons, which could be a reasonable investment if he meets expectations. However, his performance so far hasn't fully justified the hype, making his contract a subject of skepticism. As for the Oklahoma City Thunder, the team surprised many by giving Isaiah Hartenstein a 2-year, $58 million contract. Hartenstein hasn't yet demonstrated the high-level talent necessary to warrant such a significant figure, raising questions about the decision. Moving on to the Cleveland Cavaliers, Darius Garland's 5-year, $197 million extension seemed promising, but since signing, his performance has declined across the board. His disappointing playoff showing has cast a negative light on the contract, raising concerns about its value. Heading over to Brooklyn, Ben Simmons remains a puzzle for the Nets. Despite averaging just 6 points per game, he's set to earn $40 million in 2025, making him the highest-paid player on the team. His underwhelming stats across the board make this contract particularly problematic. Next, in Washington Wizards, Jordan Poole's $87 million contract over the next 3 years with the Wizards is raising eyebrows. His inconsistent play, marked by poor decision-making and defense, has made this deal one of the more questionable contracts in the league. Continuing with the Charlotte Hornets, Miles Bridges is signed for $75 million over the next 3 years, which could be justified if he maintains a strong level of play. However, his performance has been inconsistent, casting doubt on the value of this contract. Down south, in Orlando, Jonathan Isaac will be the highest-paid player for the Magic in 2025, despite missing 60% of games due to injuries. This contract represents a significant risk for Orlando, given Isaac's ongoing health issues. In San Antonio, the Spurs have excelled with their young talent, but their worst contract belongs to Zach Collins, who will earn $35 million over the next 2 years. This high price is questionable for a player who has struggled with consistency. And lastly, the Detroit Pistons and Utah Jazz. Both the Pistons and Jazz have relatively inexpensive rosters, but Tobias Harris in Detroit and John Collins in Utah are each set to earn $52 million over the next 2 years. These contracts seem inflated, especially considering the players' recent performances. So, what do you think of these contracts? Did we highlight the worst ones? Or is there a deal you believe we missed? Drop your thoughts and any additional moments we might have overlooked in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on our latest content. Keep the passion for sports alive, and we'll see you in the next video.